Hi, welcome along to the Weekender Show, and we're going to be previewing Sunday's games now. I've been joined by Sam from United People's TV, Manchester United channel.
How you doing, man?
Also been joined by Chris from RedMen TV. How you doing, Liverpool?
Good, man. Good.
Good. Kept you lot apart. See the gap there? Kept the Liverpool and United apart. What are you putting your hand over there for?
Just want to touch him.
Right. Okay, right. And
Weird
we've still got
London monk.
Nicky
going on
Hawkins
here?
from West Ham Fan TV, balancing up with a bit of London in the building. Now, let's go straight into this game this weekend. West Brom versus Manchester United.
Biggest game of the weekend.
All right. West Brom, they've been playing all right. They got the last 5 games at home, unbeaten. Man United have been playing all right. Done us last week.
They did.
Got a bit of a scrappy win during the week against Watford.
They did.
It's the Marcus Rashford show. It's all,
Kids
roses again.
No, it's not roses,
with,
man.
With Louis van Gaal.
It's not. He's been given a lucky set of circumstances. I suppose lucky's a bit wrong because he's got a small squad, so that's how he makes his teams so the kids can come through, and they've come through shining. They've just made it exciting again. It's like season's a bit of a goner. We're going to get hopefully top 4, but we finished top 4 last year. Spent a bucket load of money. You expect to finish higher than top 4.
Now it's going to be a big test for these kids because going away to West Brom, a Tony Pulis team, they're going to be physical. They're going to be organised. Good record at home.
Watford were physical, man.
Yeah, they started performing again as well. West Brom. That was a very good draw they got during the week away at Leicester.
Yeah.
And in Berahino, they got a guy now that's starting to score goals again. How are you feeling about that game?
I think United are going to go there. If we play with as little fear as we've had in the last 4 games, we'll win the game because we've seemed to have sort of said, you know what, just go out and play football because kids have got that hunger. They don't know what it means to win or lose titles or win or lose cups. They're just kids. They want to play football and they want to score goals. That's what you do when you're a kid, and that's all they care about. And if you play them, Old Trafford against you at Arsenal was the most exciting I've seen Old Trafford in so long. I was hugging strangers after that second Rashford goal.
We're all strangers there, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all strangers.
They live in week in,
yeah,
week
because
out.
they only go there once a time. Obviously, let's get it all out.
All right. Let me ask you, Chris, can the kids get over the line against West Brom? It's going to be tough.
I don't know if I should be talking about whether kids and Man United can win things and stuff, especially after what Alan Hansen said 20 odd years ago.
I wasn't going to say anything.
One thing I do think at the moment is that they have got some really young kids in there, and I'm just hoping that they're kind of running on adrenaline at the moment. And after 4 or 5 games, these guys start being found out by the experienced Premier League players because they come in and it's much like a new sign. They come in as an unknown quantity, but when you got a little bit of data on them, and you got 3-4 matches or a couple of matches on Rashford or whatever it is, you can sort of start to see what he does, what he's doing well and stuff. And hopefully teams will start figuring these kids out. Hopefully they'll start tiring with the pace of the Premier League, and hopefully Man United will just go back to being crap again.
Just on a side thing, I just want to ask you this, Nicky, because I know a lot of West Ham fans have been moaning this season about players like Cresswell not getting a chance to get into that England squad. He's played past couple of seasons. He's played well. How do you feel when you hear the noises have been coming from Roy Hodgson that after just a couple of games, he would consider putting Marcus Rashford into that England squad?
I think it's disgraceful.
I agree.
And I think that the guy, he picks on reputation. It's quite evident. I mean, we was having this discussion in the green room. The Noble's been doing it not at the top level. When you've got people like Lampard and Gerrard in front of him, he's not going to get in the England side. England side's a poor side at the minute. It's a poor side. He don't know what to do. So the fact that sort of like our boys haven't got any sort of recognition England-wise, when you've got the likes of Fabian Delph and, all respect to you, Rob, but Kieran Gibbs, who when he got in the England squad over Cresswell last time, but played something like 7 minutes of Premier League football in the season. It's it's a disgrace. It's on the name. It's who you play for, and that's worrying for teams like us because if that's Aaron Cresswell's prerogative to go and play for England, Antonio, Mark Noble, if they want to get in the England squad, they're going to have to leave. And you sort of get in the FA. I'm not sure some people, there's rumours saying about it's because of the Tevez affair and things like that, when we got in trouble with the FA, because they picked Ashton and that to pay us out because he got injured, and they didn't want to pay us out again in case something similar happened. But I don't know. But if these players want to play for England, they've got to leave us to do it. And that's, their hand is being forced by the England manager. So I think it's disgraceful when he's talking about kids that have played 80 minutes of Premier League football, although he's done very well, getting into to the senior England side. It's beyond a joke.
Let's get your prediction on the game. West Brom versus Manchester United. What do you think?
Well, us and Man United are sort of matching each other result for result at the minute. We think we've got to pip them, and then they get a goal and sort of. So I've said a draw for West Ham, so I'm going to say a draw.
Draw?
Draw, yeah, a 1-1 draw.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
I think Man United will probably just sneak a win.
Yep. And Sam, you're feeling very confident ahead of this game?
No, it's not often I agree with Chris, but this has got a sneaky win written all over it because it's Tony Pulis. He won't let it be anything but a real tough, physical, in-your-face game. But I think with the kids in that team, we've got the quality now to go and bag a goal, and I think it'll be a 1-0.
Okay, so you guys have heard that. Give us your predictions in the comments below. Let us know what you think the score is going to be in that game, West Brom versus Manchester United. Moving swiftly on, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. The team that you never invite to a party if you're a Liverpool fan, right? There was that. Sorry, I had to get that in. There was that game. We all remember it, the famous one.
What game?
When Liverpool were marching on to the title and Palace scored, came from 3 down.
Oh, that game.
The party. And then there was the other game when Steven Gerrard was leaving.
Forgot about
and
that
again,
one.
Palace spoiled a pot. They're a bit of your bogey team, aren't they, Chris?
Yeah, I hate Crystal Palace.
What was the score in that game? Was it 5-1?
I can't remember the score, but
They just do it to us all the time. Like, I could freaking cry. I just hate them that much at the moment because
Like us and Everton.
it's just ridiculous, mate. They just turn it on all the time. They've been in pretty bad form, haven't they?
They have been in
honest,
poor
like,
form.
But you just know that this is the guy that they'll be looking at this going, we can turn it round against Liverpool because we always beat them. Like, they've done it for years, man. You know what it was? It's when we beat them like 9-0. And then they've just been carrying that on their shoulders ever since, and it just reminds them, and they just think that's the team that beat us 9-0 20 bloody years ago. We're gonna beat them. Like, and I hate playing Crystal Palace, and I hate Alan Pardew, and I hate Palace's players, and I just hate it. I hate all of it.
I thought it was only the North London Derby.
Don't sit on the fence here, Chris. Don't sit on the fence. Come on.
I mean, listen. To be fair, you guys coming off the back of a great win against Manchester City during the week, 3-0. Confidence got to be high.
No,
I mean,
not
yes,
really, mate. Liverpool have been just up and down all season long, haven't they? And I think now could be the time where Liverpool are looking at the game in the week, in the Europa League against Manchester United, and now the priorities for us aren't the Premier League this season. We're not really fighting for anything in the Premier League this season.
Why is it that you can't seem to stop the up and down? Why can't you find a level ground?
We're not that good.
Is that it's just because you're bad?
We're not that good at the moment. We're like defensively, we've struggled massively all season long. But when we get the ball in creative areas of the pitch, we just move the ball really slowly. It's quite dull. It's quite pedestrian at times. And the games when we've scored goals, we've not played like that. But we've got a young squad as well ourselves. You get inconsistencies. There's players who've been out for long periods of time, like Jordan Henderson, who's not playing to the level that he was before the injury and stuff. And they're also changing their style of play to what Jurgen Klopp wants to play, and the transitioning from one style of play, which is very much tick-a-tacker, to Jurgen Klopp's high pressing system. And to the outside eye, it might look like they're the same, but they're not. They're completely different, and the movements that the players have to make are completely different, and the passing triangles that we're looking for are completely different. And you can just see that it's taking them a little bit of time, and sometimes it's clicking, sometimes it's not at the moment, and it's been up and down. I've got no qualms that we'll be doing much better next season, but right now this is just a testing ground for next year.
What do you make of Klopp? I mean, he's getting a pretty decent ride at the moment, considering the form's been very bumpy. Many other managers coming in with the sort of bit of a dodgy record that he's had might be under a bit more pressure than he's been.
I think Klopp's sound bites in his interviews are going to give him some serious leeway with the press over the course of his career. He's a likeable guy. Even I like him. I don't want to like him because he's a Liverpool manager, but I like him. I think that's going to help him because, as you've seen with Louis van Gaal this season, once the press gets on your back, it's pretty incessant and it doesn't really go away. You can try to ignore it, but the fans can't ignore it. It's what the fans see every day. And Van Gaal will say he ignores it, and Klopp will say he ignores it. But if he's going down for a coffee in the morning from Pret, and he sees his face, I don't know.
Why Pret?
I don't know.
There are other coffee shops.
I mean, there are other coffee shops, you know what I mean, apart from Pret.
I hate coffee, so. But yeah, you know, he's had a really up and down season, but it's very hard. Again, I hate to agree with Chris, but once you're implementing a really new system, which is so different from what they've had before, the intensity-wise more than anything else, it's going to take time. It always does. It's just like a foreign player coming to the Premier League, doesn't always hit it off in the first season. It's going to be next year when we can really judge Klopp. But it's been quite enjoyable watching the Klopp factor get popped.
And Nicky, Pardew, flying high at the start of the season. People were talking about him, England manager. People were talking about Palace getting into Europe. They've been in absolute freefall recently, losing a lot of games. I think they drew their last game. All right, they were ahead and lost their way. What's gone wrong with Crystal Palace? Has it just been the injuries? They have any injuries to guys like Balassi and that have affected them, but they've really lost their way.
Yeah, I think that is a factor. Obviously, you lose any players, it's going to affect anyone's team, especially players of that quality. But there's this thing with Pardew. I don't rate Pardew as a manager. We've had him at our place. I didn't like the way he does certain things, whether they're true or not. It's down for the debate. But I know a few things that he did do that I can't say on camera.
I was about to say
that I've heard it firsthand, so I know what he does. So there's this honeymoon period that comes with him. With Palace, because of the previous sort of rubbish managers they had there, he comes in, he's a high-profile manager, he's just come from Newcastle, he sort of left them to go there.
He loves the club as well.
He loves the club, yeah, he's a Palace boy. And he's had that extended honeymoon period where everyone's behind him, and now he's sort of starting to get found out a little bit, and he's not as great as everyone thinks he is. And the Premier League's a difficult place. It does the same thing with Newcastle. It goes on very sporadic, long wins, like long run of wins, and then all of a sudden they just drop like a lead balloon.
Long run of losers.
Yeah, just drop like a lead balloon, and he's done that throughout his career, even with us. Took us to the FA Cup final, 8th in the league. Next season, we had to out him because we was going down under him, and that's the by and large of it.
What? Give us your prediction then. What do you think the score's going to be? Crystal Palace, Liverpool.
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0 to Liverpool. Yeah. What about you, Sam? The history of this fixture, he's got a great history in recent years. It's always a great game when these two come together. What do you think?
I'm going for a 3-3 again. Goals. 2 crap defences. I wouldn't say the 2 great attacks, but goals.
Finally, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, you must be a bit nervous ahead of this, just because of their good record against it.
I am a little bit, but they are in bad form and stuff. I do think Liverpool have been playing a little bit better. Obviously, the game against Man City, we were sparkling at times during the game and stuff. And with one eye on Man United, I think a couple of players could be rested. But I think for the most part it'll be a largely strong team, and I think Liverpool will win 2-1.
Okay, I'm going to go for Palace. I mean, they just seem to have it over Liverpool. I think if it was at Liverpool, I would have went for Liverpool, but at Palace, and they got a lot to play for, because if they don't win this game, relegation is a very serious thing for them. So I'm going to go for Palace winning this one by a couple of 2-1. I'll go Palace 2-1. What do you guys think? Leave your predictions below for all the games that we've mentioned across all the weekender shows. Thanks to my panel. Thanks for you guys coming on today. James, is he back next week? He's not back. This guy, how did guy get so many holidays?
He's busy in France, he's busy in Thailand. No, he collects coupons. He told me off camera.
He collects coupons. Well,
took him 2.5 years to get this. Yeah, you do need to.
We'll be back next week with another weekender show. Thanks very much for watching. And as I said, don't forget to subscribe to the Ball Street channel.
I am nervous, without a doubt. That said, I've never been more confident going into a game because